How we doing? Good morning. Let's get it. Previously on Kimba TV. You know, it's still level by level. I probably, you know, unless you want to try to scalp like a long, now I'm going to just wait for 98 and the 100 to get lost. I think there's a single print and VWAP up there. So you could do like a failed auction right here and maybe continue to go up. Now I'm thinking, you know, Monday is going to be like a scalp short if it gives us one. It's a kachoya. Shout outs to everybody that was here last night. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you guys think? Pixel perfect. All right, we're coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all ready? Woo! How we doing, boy? Happy Friday, y'all. All righty, well, you guys know what it is. All we gotta do is reclaim 104, 106, chat. Quit playing with me, Consuela. How we doing? Kimba, if you had to decide, if I had to decide, I would think that this is a bearish retest, but we'll find out. Yeah, were you here yesterday? Even if you missed the late night stream last night, you still would have heard me talking about the full rotate. And we drew the fixed range volume profile this right away. So yeah, like 7.5 and yeah, this is pretty much resistance. So if this is resistance, then we'll probably see the lows on Monday like we talked about. If this is not resistance, then we'll see a squeeze back above the orange line. Yeah, I guess if you put a gun to my head, I'm expecting the lows to be made next week on Monday. Yeah, I mean, it would be bullish to turn this 104, 105 into support. That's the thing is, we've been talking about 104, 105 for so long that, you know, I would assume it's going to be resistance since it wasn't support. You know. But yeah, it's Friday, so a little bit hard to tell. But yeah, this would be like a, we'll see if this is supposed to be a bearish retest or not. Alrighty, but you got your first tap on the point of control, so. Wait. Nelmo says, what do you think about 886? Yeah, so I don't know what you mean, Nelmo. Yeah, so we never will just randomly long or short a level. We long or short because the data says it's bullish or bearish. So instead of asking me, hey, what do you think about 886 value area high? I think the question that I would have for you is, what are the pieces of data that will tell you that it's a good short? I actually literally just went over all of that. So if it's going to be a lower high, you need a hidden CVD bear div, don't you? So do you have that? Does the open interest look bearish? Nelmo. So just because you can identify a level, that doesn't mean that you have a reason to short or long. It's the data. So do you have bearish edge, Nelmo? That's all you got to be able to tell me. Is the CVD bearish? Is the open interest bearish? Is the structure bearish? That's it. So as long as you know how to look at open interest and be able to determine if it's bullish or bearish, you're fine. As long as you know how to spot a hidden CVD bear div, you're fine. As long as you know how to, well, I don't know if you know how to, but if you can correlate a little bit to ES. But yeah, I would really only take, here's the thing, I don't have to worry about a short myself. The only thing that I have to think about for my short is, you know, where would I close it? So I would probably, you know, think about closing if it makes a higher high, basically a 106. Oman says, but OI doesn't look bullish also, does it? What do you mean? I don't know what that means. What you want to say, Oman, is like, hey, on Binance, there's this many longs trapped and this many shorts trapped. On OKX, there's this, or you could just say in aggregate, you know, in the top 3 exchanges, the OI indicates that this is how many longs are trapped and this is how many shorts are trapped. So I don't know what time frame you're looking at. So you have to be specific about what time frame and which exchanges you're talking about. 7 more minutes. Any other questions? Yeah, I'll tell you if it looks bearish if we do when we get up there. Maybe we should put this back on. 30 minutes is probably okay. You guys good? Happy Friday. Any fun weekend plans? Dimitri says last 24 hours, 800 million in rect and longs. That's a pretty good data to support long, in my opinion. As long as you have historical pattern recognition, Dimitri. Yeah. So the last time there was 800 million rect in 24 hours on a Thursday night, you know, was it a good long? Yes or no, right? So I don't want you to just like randomly make up that $800 million in 24 hours is good data to support a long, right? As long as you know that the last 10 times, you know, it was 800 million on a Thursday, that should be good enough. Thomas says, planning to juice up a new juicy green Bugatti over the weekend. Let's go! Full rotation done. Now time to short. We're almost getting there. Yeah. Zocker says, gonna do some island hopping. That's dope. Alram says, isn't it a fucking amazing V-shaped recovery? Have you already nerded out on V-shaped recovery? The first thing that when people are like, yo, is that an ascending wedge? I'm like, did you even go to Bulkowski? Do you know all of the mathematical prerequisites for it? As long as you're not looking at it and being like, it look like a V shape. It look like a letter V. As long as you're not doing that and you understand what open interest has to look like. As long as you like went to Bulkowski and you understand all the mathematical requirements for it to be a V-shaped recovery. Yeah, theoretically this isn't, but you know, you need to make sure that you know mathematically what a V-shaped recovery is. Don't just tell me that it looks like the letter V. You know what I mean? That's not what a V-shaped recovery is. So as long as you feel like you understand the mathematical definition of a V-shaped recovery and you're looking at the data, then you're okay. I just don't want you to be like, it looks like a letter V. Arrow Fury, what's going on? Blink John says, how reliable is SPX CVD chart? Well, just think about it for a second. First off, I like it. I don't really have a problem with it. The first thing that you have to understand is the difference between something like ES, where you can long or short, and something like SPY spot, like SPX, where you tend to use options. Remember, options, you have the right to sell. You have the option to sell or buy at a certain price. Okay? So when you get into options, you can't get liquidated. Does that make sense? If you get gammas are a little bit interesting because you can't get liquidated. Either your contract is worth nothing or they're juicing. They're like, it doesn't, if you have a contract that's going to let you buy here, you know, on the end of this month, it doesn't matter if it does this, as long as before your contract expires, it does that. So what would that mean in terms of CVD divergences? Think about that for a second. Right? The volume is different in that they don't stop loss hunt. Either your contract is worth something or it's worthless, but there's no liquidity, there's no stop loss. So on ES, you might have a whole bunch of liquidity at this level or here. On spot SPX, you don't. Especially with gamma exposure levels. So in regards to CVD, it's, I guess, you have to look at it on a higher time frame. But I look at CVD divergences all the time for weekly and 0-day expirations. So the yellow is the SPY price. The green is the bullish trend, and the red is obviously the bearish. So you can see if a bear div is getting invalidated, or if a bull div is getting invalidated, or if a bull div is getting confirmed, you know, and vice versa. Okay. But an option can be at a loss too. Yeah, if it expires at lower than you were supposed to have it above. Yeah. So you're paying for the option to buy or sell something, right? You either sell it before you can execute, or you execute the option. So it's the cost of the contract, right? Yeah, so it's a little bit different. There's like little nuances. There's really no like liquidity sweeps and shit on gamma. That's why we don't really try and predict if a level is going to be a support or resistance, but we know that it's going to pull the price there. Stop the music. Nowojo says, I struggle on understanding when a point of control or VWAP will hold if there's bullish data. Can you let me know if I'm correct in stating that if we're looking for structure change? No, I mean, that's like what 5th graders would do, you know, but no, you got to look at data, Nowojo. So when you get to the point of control or VWAP, okay, first things first, do you have any other confluence? Is it just VWAP, or is it VWAP and point of control? Is it just VWAP and point of control, or is it VWAP, point of control, and single print? Is it just VWAP, point of control, and single print, or is it VWAP, point of control, single print, and DOS75? What about S&P? So what's the level of confluence at those levels? Okay, the more overlap that you have, the better. You need to be able to look at open interest, CVD, you know, structure, which is what you were asking about, and even things like S&P confluence. So if we get to a point of control and it's also VWAP and it's also 7.5, okay, and it's hitting it with a hidden CVD bull div, then the probability that it's going to hold increases, Nowojo. Let me give you an example. Hey, Kimba, do you think that the VWAP is going to hold? Probably not. Hey, Kimba, do you think that the VWAP and the point of control is going to hold? Maybe. Hey, Kimba, do you think the single print and the point of control and the VWAP is going to hold? Could. Hey, Kimba, do you think that the point of control, the VWAP, the single print, the golden pocket, and the hidden CVD is going to hold? Yeah. You see how with everything that you get, the probability goes up or down? Sometimes people will be like, Kimba, is that a bear flag? Are we going to go down? Do you understand that not all price action or the pattern is the same? Okay? For example, what is this? Do you understand that this is a hidden bear div? Which one is actually bearish and has a chance to be a bearish flag? This one. Because it's got a hidden bear div. This one doesn't have a hidden bear div. You know, what if that right there is a single print? What if what if VWAP is right here? This one's VWAP is down here. So you need to be able to look at the data, and the data is what increases or decreases the probability that the point of control or VWAP is going to hold. No, Wojo. You have to read the data. Does that make sense? Do you think I'm fucking surprised that it pixel fucked the 886, chat? Hero? Hero? Is anybody surprised that it bounced off the 886? Fuck are we talking about, chat? How we doing? Should we let us up or what? Lions, how we doing, man? Hey, Blade, thank you for the 50, brother. Constig, what's going on? Rules Crypto says, I'm going to TP my long. Where's it going, though? Make sure you rewind and get caught up. Real Colorize says, best song ever. Let's go. Lusky says, I would love this golden pocket turning into support. Nice. Aim Talk says, I think you mentioned yesterday that you would take a long. Why you differ there? What do you mean? We did. You don't know that I have a 107, I think it's 130 Bitcoin. I showed it in the morning. But we also did it live, brother. I have 100,700 long. And I think it's like 20 to 30 Bitcoin per exchange. I think it's like 130 Bitcoin total. What do you mean? We did. If you want to rewind, you can see the entry for one of the exchanges in the morning. Yeah, I have a long from right here. Isn't that crazy? It's got to be testnet. Constix has just got a new car today. Nice, nice. I'm about to go get a new car. Gucci Romo. Aim Talks, any questions? Yeah, if you missed the long Aim Talks and why I took it and when I took it, it's all in the highlights if you want to go back and watch it. You can see, and you must have missed the night stream too, but when this was dropping, like when it was doing this, I don't think it even went that far. We were already identifying value area low, point of control, and value area high. Yeah. So let me know. Yeah, and then we're going to see if 104, 105, is it resistance? Is it not? If it is resistance, then we're going to be able to see much lower. Okay? So just remember, Aim Talks, I'm bullish on the higher time frame. So anytime it pulls back, I'm going to be looking to long it. And I keep telling you this, make sure you have bad lows, bad highs identified. Okay? Make sure you have levels to the upside and downside identified so you know what you're looking at or what you're thinking of. Have a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. You know? Happy 420 says, nice stream. You said all these things. Yeah, I showed up late last night talking about, let's see if we can get a full rotate while I'm here. So it obviously didn't happen during the night. while I was streaming, but we got the value area low, value area high, full rotate, done. Value area low, value area high, full rotate, done. Yeah. But it's okay. What do you want to do next? AIM talks. So the easier one, the better long would be to take it lower than 100. If you think that it's not going to go back below 100, then the next level that you're looking at is VWAP and a trident, which is going to be the 103. So if you don't think that this is going to get revisited, then your next long opportunity is going to be somewhere around here. You know, maybe it, goes a little bit further down or something like that, but the long is good if it loses but snaps back above. This has to hold on higher time frame if the long is going to work. So you might be watching this level as it comes down, and you might have anchor VWAP, or you might have something, and if you have a hidden CVD bull div, it might be worth taking, because eventually what you want to do is break out of this. All right, but it's all going to be up to data. All right. But you got to figure out if you're bullish, if you're bearish, what you plan on doing when it gets to that level, what data you would be looking at. All right, big dog. But never ever think about longing or shorting just because it's at a level. That makes no sense. You're longing or shorting because you have a bullish or a bearish reason to, not because it just went to that level. So have you been hearing me talk about everything, how I don't want to long, I don't want to short until we lose this box? Because 886 to 75 is extremely bullish. We have hidden CVD bull div. Yes? Like, do you understand what it means to make a higher low, but the CVD makes a lower low? Did you hear me say that I took a short on S&P, but I'm going to get round tripped? And surely enough, I'm about to get round tripped right now. So yeah, I'm trying to help you as much as I can. No short for me yet. The only way that I would do it is if we get below the box. So let me know if you need anything. Whether you want a short or long, I think waiting until Monday is probably your best bet. I think the whole weekend is going to be, I hope I don't get stopped out type of shit. All righty. Constig says get below the box. Exactly. Yeah, that's if you do that, then it would be bearish, and I'll short with you, Constig. Yeah, but I'm never going to look for a short if it's not structurally relevant, right? I don't have S&P edge, right? S&P don't look bearish. It couldn't lose all-time high. Or not. Why do I keep saying that? It couldn't lose RTH high. You know? I don't have divergence edge. I don't have S&P Confluence. I don't have structure. That's a bad high up there, obviously. I don't have open interest helping me. I don't have any top longs. There's literally nothing that would make me short. I can't, even if I wanted to. You know exactly what the three edges that I like to long or short, so. AIM Talk says, let's say we dipped to 98 on the weekend. Would you take it depending on data? Sure. Yeah, I would take it. Constig says, I know, despite that, I'm in a short. That's okay. That's okay. Look, Constig, I'm rooting for you, brother. You know, I can totally understand why you're shorting here. You know what I mean? In my opinion, I think you might be a little bit too early, because I don't see any open interest that says it's bearish. I don't have S&P Confluence that's bearish. I don't have CVD that's bearish. In fact, it's bullish. You know, I feel you. This is definitely a good level, but this is a great example of how where I can't just short a random level. I need the data. And you know exactly what data I look at. None of those things are bearish for me. So how could I possibly take it? Right? It's the same way. If I see all of the edge, like hidden CVD bull div, regular CVD bull div, swing fail pattern, like if I see the edge, I'll take it. At the same token, if there's no edge, I'll never take it. You know? So I actually do want to short this area, but I'm just waiting to see if there's a reason to do it. Right now, the markets haven't given me a reason to do it. So I'm trying to be as patient as I can. Yeah, I did try to short S&P. I mean, did you see all the failed auction setups that it had a chance to do? But yeah, that didn't work. So I don't have any Confluence. I don't have any reason to be shorting right now, unfortunately. First stream ever, AIM Talks. And I sat through all of this with the Lions. Did you know that we were really bullish here? We were trying so fucking hard to long this. Like all these months, bro, we were trying so hard to long all this. Did we get pixel perfect? No. But we have longs from here, you know, and all of this too. We have longs from here. Yeah, and while I was trying to long all of this, I had shorts from here that I just let run. And when I was shorting here, I just pretty much let it round trip. The only reason why I was hedge shorting is so that I could swing for a home run responsibly. AIM Talks. There's two things that you have to decide, okay? You're either gonna shave and realize profits and reduce your position size, or you're gonna keep the whole thing open, except you're gonna hedge short. Make sense? So what I've been doing for almost the last year and a half, okay, brother, is I'm looking to get into longs and I'm hedge shorting so that I don't have to shave my longs and I can let that bitch run for home runs. So I might be more interested or enthusiastic about longing over the weekend, but short hedging, nah. That's why you're seeing me attempt longs over the weekend, but not shorts. Does that make sense, AIM Talks? So I don't want you to really, like, if this loses the box and if I get into a short, I don't want you to think that I think it's going to go to 92. I'm only shorting so that if it does lose 92, then, you know, our long from 78 doesn't get punished so bad because I didn't shave anything. And the best part about hedging a short, AIM Talks. So here's the thing. I'm not chasing the short because I'm not bearish, but I'm aggressively taking shorts because I want to hedge. And the reason why I can be a little bit more aggressive with the short is because I'm putting my stop loss at break even relatively quickly. So if I get into a short and I get stopped out, what does that do? When I get stopped out on my short, what does the market do? It market smashes a long, right? So basically, if I hedge short, okay, all of my longs are still running. It's the same size, right? And if I'm wrong on the short and I get tiny profit, I'm basically getting paid a little bit of money to market smash a long. Does that make sense? So the hedge short allows me to keep all of my longs open. I don't have to close the position and make it smaller and think about having to re-enter or add. Okay? If I'm wrong on the short, I get to market smash long in the same position that I'm betting on anyways. And I get paid a little bit of money. So it's a win-win for me. Even if I'm wrong to short, I'm still juicing. So you have to have a bias and prepare and plan in that way accordingly. Does that make sense? Goddamn, you are planning for months. You're 100% correct. I'm executing what we talked about almost close to a year ago. You know, and then like obviously with the day-to-day stuff, the week-to-week, the month-to-month, yeah, you're going to have bing bong ding dongs in between, because on the, like, the math might, you know, it might look like this, you know, if you're zoomed in on the hourly, but if you zoom out on the weekly, it just looks like this. So that's why we always harp on this idea of don't get got. You know, there's clearly wrong times to long or short because you don't have edge. So as long as you can be really disciplined about, if you have all the edge that you anticipated, stop pussyfooting, take it. If you don't have all the edge that you anticipated, don't hope, don't take it. And that's it. So I think the sample size and the experience just gives you extra confidence to be able to take it. Bugatti! Joan Kata says, Kimba took 10-day vacation. How do you keep up with the charts while on vacation? I've streamed from Hawaii many times with you guys. So just go and watch. Well, actually, I don't know if the Kimba mobile stuff is like recorded and saved, but it's the same shit, brother. I just don't have like my big ass screens, but I've gone to Hawaii 3-4 times. I've done a ski trip with you guys. I've done a yacht trip with you guys. So if you remember me, like, you know, trying to do TA on the laptop and shit on one screen and on the external monitor, that's about it. It's the same thing. I still look at the data and prepare and plan. Yeah. Have you noticed that since a lot of my executions trickle down from higher level thesis ideas, that my day-to-day execution is really just 15 to 30 minutes of taking a look at previous day value, TPO value, where settlement is, identifying, okay, above here, this is bullish, and I have plan A, B, and C to take it. Below here, it's bearish, and I have plan A, B, and C to take it. And I'll set alerts, and, you know, I might be swimming with dolphins, and I might be, you know, underwater, literally. And my alerts might be going off, and I might miss it because the phone's on the boat. But for the most part, I'm gonna just set my alerts and be notified when we're at that level. I'll see really quickly if the hidden CVD bear div or bull div is there. I'll take a look at structure. I'll take a look at what S&P looks like, and then, you know, I'll probably take it. So, you know, is 104, 105 support? You know, can we get the fuck above 106? All right. And Castillo says, why? What do you mean, dude? We've been talking about this for so long. Okay. Pretend these are not 4-hour candles. Okay? Okay? Pretend these are 5-minute candles, Castillo. Okay? Now, I want you to tell me something. When you take the price action and you go swing high, swing low, okay? Have you seen anything like this where we go from here, we go set the high, okay? We pull back to the 7.5, we pop back up to the .5, we nuke and make a lower low, and then we do a bearish retest of the golden pocket, and then we continue to make a lower low. Have you ever seen that before? Looks like a familiar pattern. Yeah, so we've already talked about this on the higher time frame. Yeah, and so that's why the 104, 105, and then the 106 is really important. Yeah. So I don't think that's really that crazy. I think you and I would agree that isn't that kind of like, is that something that you've seen before? Okay. Now, let's talk about something that has the potential or to increase the probability of not having to go down here. Maybe this is good. No one fucking knows. What's something that would increase the probability of this being the low? Have you seen a trident with me, brother? Have you ever seen a trident with me where it goes from the 8A6 to the golden pocket and this becomes the pivot point? Either this becomes resistance or it actually holds it. Have you seen a trident play before? So let me ask you, Castillo, if it does this and you get 80 million in shorts here, and this is a hidden CVD bull div, so let me ask you, brother, if this comes down to the 0.5, which is very close to the anchor VWAP, which is also a Fibonacci level, which is also a structural higher time frame trident level. If it goes to that level and you have CVD hidden bull div and you have bottom shorts and you have a whole bunch of longs that open down here and get stopped out right there, you wouldn't entertain a long? If you know in your mind, okay, I want to entertain a long, do you know and have the experience and protocol on how you would play it? Would you wait for structure change? So would you, like, let's say we zoomed in on the 5 minute right there. Would you wait for something like this? Would you be able to pull the volume here? Okay, and be able to find some sort of edge like, oh, the settlement is here. Value area low is here. Value area as high is here. Holy shit, maybe we have the chance to do a full rotate, just like yesterday. Do you remember what I did yesterday? As soon as we were right around here and we started to bounce, I immediately started pulling fibs. And I had the value area high, value area low, and I knew where we needed to get to for it to be bullish. So not only did I have like a way to take the exact low with a nice little invalidation, I knew what kind of structure and levels we needed to do. You know, i.e. something like this, full rotate. So that's the way that I would look at it. You know, you shouldn't be thinking about shorting here when you lose it, because you clearly know that even market smashing here is better than trying to do a bearish retest of this because your invalidation is here. That's your stop loss. I'd rather take that or that. Does that sound good? But I think we go lower. Yeah. All right, Castillo, but I'm just a crackhead on Tourette's, so I don't know. And especially like smaller time frame shit, like over the weekend, I don't know. Lions, let's go. Hey, longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, Bears, we're all Lions. Hey, Raving, give it up for Houston Cage.